Well, if you know me and SK, we've had our disagreements, but we do have places where we do agree. And I actually hate Infinity War and Endgame, but I do think, ironically, he's actually being a little bit too nice to the movie in a few too many places. And I also find the framing a little bit odd. He's really attacking that the continuity in Infinity War is bad. And I agree, it is bad, but I don't think that's the worst thing about it. So let's go through some of the worst aspects of Infinity War, which of course will include attacking Mauler, I think very legitimately for being an idiot.
Gun. These fuckers are just standing there, allowing the fight to be brought closer to them, where medical teams are operating. Mauler made an unbridled praise video of this piece of shit movie and praised this part specifically.
You're trespassing in this city and on this planet. Means get lost, Squidward.
That's just fantastic.
It's fantastic watching your heroes act like bumbling idiots as they're about to allow a shit ton of destruction to take place. Fuck me, you will clap at anything.
The rags is so big, there's so many explosions.
Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards.
That's just a fantastic comedic line on its own.
It's so fantastic that our heroes are wasting time on idiotic jokes instead of immediately containing and stopping the threat. Of all things to praise this movie for, you praised the piss-poor heroics amongst the team. Praising this is like praising the shitty fight scenes in the CW Flash series, and acting like there's nowhere to run was so brilliantly crafted. Though it wouldn't be an issue to me if you didn't smugly present yourself as the objective know-it-all who stands.
Well, I agree, yeah, Mauler often in the entire video just summarized stuff and said, I like it, is good, is brilliant. He didn't say why it's brilliant. He just said it's brilliant. It's got a little tiresome. So the praise video, which has made him presumably a bit of money, has gotten millions of views based on him just summarizing stuff. Pretty weak video. Do you agree with SK that, yeah, the plan of attack by Strange is pretty weak? And he mentions the mirror dimension. Well, I think there are deeper problems. Yes, he could have used the time stone and all that, but you think even more radically, why is he fighting at all? Yeah, just leave. You don't have to fight them. Just get into a portal and just be on the other side of the universe. You didn't have to fight them in the first place. There's a lot of places in Endgame, as well as Infinity War, that are like that. The people are fighting, but you're like, technically you don't really need to fight, and SK sometimes even misses that.
You just want to stay here and let the aliens continue to attack people?
Who's helping them out, huh?
How the fuck didn't you notice this? Wanda would have seen Corvus Glaive sneak up on Vision. She had eyes directed at him in this scene. Okay, Wanda's dead. She's not coming back from that. This shot alone should have killed her, as I assume lethal weaponry is being used, because why the fuck wouldn't they? But also, she gets blasted so far back that she crashes right through this window and into this building. Wanda is dead. She's not coming back from this, but somehow she survives and is able to save Vision from getting the Mind Stone removed. Once Vision gets saved and his wound is treated, Corvus Glaive returns. Vision grabs onto him and fights back. In a position like this, it should be impossible to win against Vision. Vision's forehead has the Mind Stone, which can shoot a laser right through his enemies. Corvus Glaive's head is exposed right here. How is Vision not thinking to do this?
Right, now I do agree with the general criticism that what Vision is doing is really stupid in his scenes, but I'd go a step further. He has the Mind Stone. Why doesn't he just knock out Proxima? Shut off her brain. You don't have to kill her. Just render her unconscious and tap into her memories. They could use her for a source of information. Fight scenes with Proxima at the beginning of the movie and at the end make no sense. With the Black Order, Vision should have just been like, okay, we'll do the procedure to take out the stone, but let me just put them all to sleep. If they have brains, and presumably they have to have brains, he could just render them unconscious. So the entire fight was unnecessary, and all the injuries and even possible deaths were completely unnecessary. He could have just stepped in, but he didn't do that. It's like, why not? He has used the Mind Stone. He can use it. He's not using it because, I don't know, reasons, I guess.
If you kill me, you'll be just like everybody else.
What's so wrong with that?
Oh. Why is Doctor Strange choosing now to look into the future? You could have done this on the donut ship to see if it would be safer to go to Titan or to Earth, since neither of you seemed sure. You'd have more options beforehand than right now. Really strange timing, but this isn't the core issue in this scene. Doctor Strange sees 14,605 possible futures. He explicitly claims that these are all the possible outcomes of the coming conflict.
To see all the possible outcomes of the coming conflict.
He then states that there is only one possible future where they beat Thanos, and this line is often used to defend the characters in Infinity War and Endgame, making the most brain-dead decisions possible. Oh, well, this is the one reality where they do win, so they couldn't have done anything else. And this is not the W MCU fans think it is. Firstly, if you see 14 million possible futures, why is your first assumption that those must be all of them rather than a select amount? There are an infinite number of ways a situation can turn out, so I don't—
This video is very sharp, but I do think sometimes SK goes a little bit too far. Infamous 14 million or whatever is a complete joke, but here I will have to play devil's advocate and defend Infinity War, because I don't think this was a good idea, but they did do it canonically. And this is, I think, a big weakness in the video, which he never addresses, which is if you're going to attack continuity, which he does, I think, pretty brilliantly, you have to weigh the other option, which is Kang. In other words, a lot of these errors or continuity problems could be answered by Kang. It could be Kang messed up the timeline, not the movie itself. Again, we have to allow the fiction provides an explanation. I don't think this was a good idea, but they have made Kang canonical, and they're saying Kang manipulated a lot of these events. Now, this feels like Rise of Skywalker nonsense. Like, yes, Palpatine can do that. Obviously, you can manipulate events like that, but should you really make that explicit in the narrative? Well, they did. I'm being consistent. I think that makes for very bad filmmaking, but still, canonically, you've done it. That will answer certain plot issues. So if you are hung up on continuity, at least certain continuity errors can be answered by Kang. So I am convinced by SK that my score, which used to be 3.5 to a 4, should really be 3 out of 10, I think legitimately. However, the Kang factor will force me to give the score of 3.5 if we're being fair to Infinity War. I'm not saying we have to be fair, but to be fair to Infinity War, now that we have the Loki series, certain questions are answered by Kang, just being fair to both sides.